step out, get some air now, let your head.
Hey besties, today's look is a date night look. So I'm first doing a brown shade in my crease, and I believe this palette was the nude palette from Beauty Bay, I think, but don't quote me. So yeah, just blending a little bit of a brown shade and then a little bit of darker brown on that outer corner. I have tape there to make a sharp line along my outer edge, and then in my crease just going in with that darker brown color, also with a fluffy blending brush. I think this one was from MAC, but I'm not sure, it could have been Morphe. But yeah, so you're gonna blend those, and then even darker brown is just going along that edge of my lash line, and basically like a wing, you know. And then I put a lighter shade, like almost a white, but it was like a cream white color from that palette, on like 2/3 of my lid, and just blend them out with that brown. And it's not a sharp cut crease, but it's like a soft cut crease, I guess. Then I went in with some white liner. This one was Mayron Paradise Paint, so it's like a water-based liner, and it's not gonna be waterproof or anything, but it works. So then I did some black liner for the wing, and I like to use those Mayron Paradise paints for my tutorials because they're easy to remove. And then I put some duo lash glue, just some little dots, to apply the little rhinestones that I did. And the rhinestones I got from Amazon, and they were super cheap and cute. But then I went in with some Huda Beauty concealer in the shade Marmalade, and that was fun. I do like this concealer. The consistency is good and the coverage is good also. Put a little on my nose and just a little under my eyes. I typically don't like to use too much like face makeup. I don't need like a lot of foundation, so concealer does most of the job. I will either like add a little bit of foundation afterwards, or just put some loose powder like in my skin tone to set it. So that was my concealer right there, just a little bit, you know. It's gonna work out. I'm gonna blend it out. So I'm just blending that concealer out with a damp beauty sponge. You can wet it with water, or your setting spray will help to make it last longer. But the beauty blender or sponge, whatever, being damp is a big part of it being easy and flawless, because it just makes your creams blend much smoother. So definitely dampen your sponge, guys. And so I'm just tapping, and I don't know, guys, just tap. It's not just tapping, it's kind of like tapping and smudging, I guess. And I'm not really worried about how pale I get, because I'm going to contour also and apply some powders, but that's what I like to do. So then I went in with this e.l.f. concealer that is darker, a darker shade, and then I'm using that to contour just with a few dots, and you know, the line down my nose. So once I start blending my concealer out, I like to start with a brush like a dense brush. This one is Morphe. What number is it? I don't even know, guys, honestly. Morphe Y10. And so I like to just blend it out initially with a brush, and then I'll go in with the beauty blender sometimes to just like morph it together, no pun intended. But yeah, just to like blend it a little more seamlessly. And then for the nose, I love this brush by Morphe. It's Y12, and I like that one for the nose contour and under the lip because it's like a long kabuki brush. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know what it's called, but I have a fake nose ring in, so that's me adjusting that. Alright, y'all, so next we're gonna set the powder with some Laura Mercier translucent powder. And the rule is that anything wet needs to be set, so if you're using a cream or a liquid product, you need to set it with a powder. That way it doesn't move or budge. Excuse me, I have hiccups now. But yeah. So set your under eyes and your smile lines and your forehead. Okay. Alright, so now I'm using the Rare Beauty liquid highlighter in the shade Captivate, and it is quite it's quite like blush toned, I'll say. It comes across more like a blush than a highlighter to me, but maybe that's just, for my skin tone. Anyway, though, regardless, I still do really like it. I do want to try other shades, but they didn't have them when I went there, so you just apply that. I like to put it on the bridge of my nose or the tip of my nose also, and bring it up under my eyes to give me like a more youthful, healthy glow. And then I went in with some Tarte loose powder that was in my color. I forget what its shade it was. I think it was tan sand maybe. And so you're just gonna put that loose powder on like below your contour, and anywhere that you feel like maybe is a little bit too light for you, that you didn't set with the loose powder, or maybe you did, but if you feel like your concealer is too light, you could just go in with a face powder, because I typically don't like to use foundation on a regular basis. And then I sprayed with a finishing spray from Urban Decay, and it's called All Nighter, and it really does help your makeup to stay on all night. And so anytime that you feel like your makeup looks dusty or too matte or flaky, or I don't know, whatever, it's good to put in setting spray or finishing spray in between. And I like to use it before I apply my highlight because it makes it like pop more. So that's what I did here. I did the finishing spray, and then I applied a highlight from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I think, one of the highlight glow palettes, and then just put some on my nose and my cupid's bow and the high point on my cheeks. Typically I like to put like a more pale color on like the highest point of my cheeks, and then towards my temple area I put like a bronzy type of highlight there. So that's what I did, darlings, and it always comes out quite nice, actually. Alright, what am I going to do next? I have this red lip from Luminous Cosmetics, and it is a shade from the Lion King series. by Sir John, who is Beyonce's makeup artist, if you don't know. And this was like my final date night look. I think it was very cute, although I could have spent more time on my hair, but I didn't. So, you know, it is what it is, and I think it looks good. My top was from Shein, and my jeans were from Hollister, and my heels were from Dior.